Welcome to ATM and withdraw knowledge. Well, I have come with a new question today from exercise 4.3. Before we start the class, subscribe the channel, share it maximum, and enable the bell icon too. Well, we go straight into the class. The question we have today is question number 3.1. Find the roots. Find the roots. Find the roots means find the values of x. Here they haven't specified a method. We have studied two methods for solving a quadratic equation. First method is factorization method, splitting the middle term. Second method is quadratic formula. If a method is specified, you are supposed to solve the question through that method only. But if no method is specified, you are at a liberty to choose the method you like. You have an option to choose the method you are comfortable in. Find the roots. If I were you, I would choose quadratic formula. The reason is, if you turn to splitting the middle term, factorization by splitting the middle term, there is a greater chance for losing your good chunk of time when you factorize, when you divide and choosing two numbers which satisfy the conditions. Sum is the middle term or product is the last term. We have studied this in previous videos or in previous questions. So in order to avoid such kind of confusion in the examination hall, you would rather choose the second method, that is quadratic formula. Here no method is specified, so I would choose quadratic formula. Whatever be the method, one thing should be made sure, that is, before you deal with a question, that should be in the standard form. ഏത് മെത്തേഡ് ആണെങ്കിലും നമ്മൾ ചെയ്യുന്നതിന് മുമ്പ് ഒരു കാര്യം ഉറപ്പിക്കണം, നമുക്ക് തന്നിരിക്കുന്ന ക്വസ്റ്റ്യൻ സ്റ്റാൻഡേർഡ് ഫോമിലാണ് എന്ന് ഉറപ്പിക്കണം. Look here, this question is not in standard form. That is our first task. Convert this equation into standard form. This is how we do. Well, we are sure the denominator here is 1. The first thing we do here is cross multiplication. So multiply crosswise here on left side. This is how we do. X into x, x square minus 1 into 1, 1. Then divided by the denominators are multiplied. 1 into x, x is equal to 3. You can see a clause over here. This is simply an additional information. This tells us that the variable x shouldn't be 0. Does it have any importance here? Yes, sure. But it doesn't have anything to do with our solving this quadratic equation. But its significance is that if the value of x is 0, this equation becomes meaningless. When x is 0, this will become completely 0. Here it is 0 and the right side is 3. That is completely meaningless. So they say the value of x shouldn't be 0. It's a warning for us. By the time you finish it, the value should not be 0. Okay. It will not be 0 if our steps are correct. For the timing, let us avoid it. Now our quadratic equation is gradually taking shape. We should go further for cross multiplication. Consider the denominator 1 over here. When you multiply crosswise, you get x square minus 1 into 1 is equal to 3 into x, 3x. Again, to put this in the standard form, we need to bring 3x from RHS to LHS so that we can have 0 on the right side. X square. Now we shall place 3x over here. When a positive term comes to the left side, if a term is taken from RHS to LHS, or LHS to RHS, its sign must change. At present it is positive 3x. When it comes over here, it becomes negative 3x. And minus 1 is equal to 0. I told you I would choose a quadratic formula. So before we start solving this question using quadratic formula, this is now in a standard form. Before we start solving through quadratic formula, we got to write something else here. We're going to introduce A, B, and C. Yes, A is the coefficient of x squared. There is no number C in here. That is 1. B is definitely the coefficient of x. I told you earlier, when you consider a number, if it is minus, the negative side should also be considered. This is not simply 3. If you write 3, your solution will be totally wrong. This is negative 3. And C is the constant term. That is negative 1. I told you the major part of a quadratic formula is discriminant. Discriminant D. That is b square minus 4ac is equal to b negative 3 square minus 4 into a is 1 into c, 4 into a into c, 4 into a into c. C is negative 1. So we write negative 1. We know square of a negative number is always positive. And now 3 square is 9. Negative 3 square is positive 9. 4 into 1 is 4. 4 into 1 is again 4. We write 4 here. Let us now think about the sign. Negative into negative is positive. So the value of D is equal to 13. Well, we need it. Let me just clear this area. Now, x is equal to, we studied earlier, x is equal to minus b plus or minus root d by 2a. See this line? It covers both minus b and both d, root d, is equal to minus, this is a sign in the formula, and b has its own sign, b, this is negative 3. I place this negative 3 in place of b, not simply 3, negative 3 minus negative 3 plus or minus root d. D's value is 30 by 2a. 2 into a, 1 is equal to negative minus into minus, positive 3 plus or minus root 13 by 2 into 1 is 2. Operation is somewhat finished. We have no number here other than root 13, because root 13 does not have a perfect square root, so we are helpless to find the square root. So all that we can do is to keep 13 as it is. Keep 13 as it is, so that we can separate plus and minus. Therefore, x is equal to 3 plus root 13 by 2. One value is this. Or x is equal to 3 plus root 13 is what we have taken once. Now 3 minus root 13. 3 minus root 13 by 2. So we have got two values. Therefore, x is equal to 3 plus root 13 by 2, comma 3 minus root 13 by 2. These are the two values. Hope you have understood. Here is the second question. 1 by x plus 4 minus 1 by x minus 7 is equal to 11 by 30. You can see a clause here, a condition here. They say the value of x shouldn't be -4 and 7. What if the values of x are -4 and 7? Try. If x is -4, this becomes -4 plus 4, 0. If you substitute -4 here, this term becomes 0. So this will be totally cancelled. That means we have no chance to get a quadratic equation. Same is the case with if x is equal to 7. There is no problem here if you give 7, but problem is here. If you give 7 over here, 7 minus 7 is 0. This term gets cancelled. Same. We will not have any chance to form a quadratic equation. That is why this clause is given. Anyway, you don't have to take a note of these things. You just leave it. Now let us try to solve this quadratic equation. It's going to be a quadratic equation. In the previous question I told you, before we deal with a question of this kind, it should be first changed to the standard form of the equation. That is our first task. We are going to change this into a standard form. For that, we need to cross multiply the terms here on the left side. See, these are the denominators. They are different, so that we multiply crosswise. 1 into x minus 7, we know x minus 7, minus 1 into x plus 7, x plus 4. There is a mistake of writing things as I'm going to write now. Students may sometimes write this way: 1 into x minus 7, there is no problem with it, minus 1 into x plus 4. This way of writing is very much wrong. That is wrong. If you are to arrange a binomial, this is a binomial. This binomial is multiplied with 1. The product comes after a minus sign. If you are to place a product, a binomial, after a minus sign, you shall not straight away write it openly. It should be written in a bracket. And now, so we have multiplied 1 into x minus 7, x minus 7, minus 1 into x plus 4, x plus 4. This is in a bracket because there is a minus sign. If it was a monomial, if it was a single term, no need of putting a bracket. So for example, if this term was simply x, simply a monomial, you could have straight away written 1 into x, x. No need of any bracket. But if it is a monomial, no problem. But if it is a binomial or a trinomial, you must put the product in a bracket. And in the second step, we will open the bracket. And now let us see how it is done. So 1, 2. Now let us multiply the denominators. These are the denominators. They are to be multiplied. X plus 4 into x minus 7 is equal to 11 by 30. X minus 7. Negative into positive is negative x. Negative into positive 4 is negative 4. See the signs of these two? If we had not put this bracket, they would have looked something like this. X would be negative, 4 is positive. This would have been how we would have written. That is wrong. So always take care when you place a binomial after a minus sign. That should be put in a bracket. Okay, negative x, negative into x, negative x, negative into positive 4, negative 4. Divided by, let's multiply x into x, x square. X into negative 7, negative 7x. Positive 4 into positive x, positive 4x. Positive into negative, negative 4 into 7, 28 is equal to 11 by 30. Over here, we have 2x over here. Two x's can be seen. One is positive, another is negative. ഒരേ ടേം ഡിഫറൻസ് സൈൻ ആണെങ്കിൽ നമുക്ക് അതിനെ ക്യാൻസൽ ചെയ്യാം. x minus x is cancelled. Now negative 7 and negative 4. Negative 7, negative 4. How are these kinds of questions done? If there is a minus sign ahead of two numbers, put the same minus sign and add the numbers straight away. This is going to be the sum. So negative 7 and negative 4, we get negative 11 by x square. Negative 7x and positive 4x. Negative 7x plus 4x. For adding a negative number and a positive number, usually we do this way. We find the difference of these two numbers. If one number is negative, another is positive, we find the difference of the numbers. That means subtract the numbers. So 7 and 4, if you subtract, we get 3. And then add or put the sign of the greater number. Here the greater number is 7, its sign is negative, so we put negative. That means negative 7x plus 4x is negative 3x. So the result, negative 7x plus 4x is negative 3x minus 28 is equal to 11 by 30. And one thing can be done up here in the numerator. If you just take note of the numerators, you see this is 11, this is also 11. If the numerators are same on either side, you can cancel them. They can be cancelled. This is how we cancelled. 1, 1. There are 11s on the same side. They are the only terms over here. They can be cancelled. So we have negative 1 here and positive 1 over there. Again, we multiply them crosswise. 1 into all these terms, result is same. So we get x square minus 3x minus 28 is equal to 30 into negative 1 is negative 30. And now let us bring negative 30 to left side. X square minus 3x minus 28. When negative 30 comes to the left side, its sign becomes positive 30. And now x square minus 3x, negative 28 and positive 30. In this kind of situations, we find their difference. If one is negative and another is positive and they are to be added, find the difference and put the sign of the greater number. Their difference is 2. Greater number is 30, its sign is positive. This is the quadratic equation we need to play with. So anyway, a question of this kind was first converted to a quadratic equation. It is in a standard form now. Only now you can choose the method you like, either factorization method or quadratic formula. Here, I would choose factorization by splitting the middle term because numbers are so simple. When the terms numbers are so simple, you would rather choose factorization method by splitting the middle term. If numbers are bigger, you would rather choose quadratic formula. Okay, numbers are simple. How this kind of equation is factorized, I have explained very well in one of the former videos. Those who have doubt in this kind of operation, those who have doubt in factorizing this kind of equation may watch those videos. I'm sure that you will get the idea of it. So x square minus 3x plus 2, I may write here x square minus 3x plus 2 is equal to 0. We are going to factorize it. We know that the first thing to be looked at is the coefficient of x square. ആദ്യം നമ്മൾ നോക്കേണ്ടത് കോഎഫിഷ്യന്റ് x square ആണ്. അത് ഒന്നാണെങ്കിൽ yes, this is 1. ഒന്നാണെങ്കിൽ see the last sign plus. Now you think of two numbers, add them to get the middle term 3, and multiply the same two numbers to get the last term 2. What are those two numbers? The numbers with the sum middle term and the same numbers with the product 2. Yes, the numbers are none other than 2 and 1. 2 plus 1 is equal to 3. 2 into 1 is equal to 2. So 2 and 1 satisfy both the conditions. So we choose 2 and 1. What are we going to do with 2 and 1? We are going to use them to split the middle term 3. This is how we do. X square minus 3 is no more now. This is written this way. X plus 2 is equal to 0. 2 plus 3, 1 is 3. So 3 is written this way. X square minus 2 into x is 2x. Plus 1 into x is plus 1x. If the coefficient is 1, we don't usually write it. We write simply x plus 2 is equal to 0. This x has been multiplied over here into 2 into 1. Now it's time to open the bracket. X square, negative into positive, negative 2x. Negative into positive, negative x. Plus 2 is equal to 0. Two numbers in one group, another two numbers in second group. Let us try to take common factors out. X square minus 2x, x is common. So 1x has been taken from both. So this x square is reduced to x minus x out 2. If you have confusion over here, write the same binomial. This is what I explained in the previous video. If you have doubt over here, write the same binomial. Whatever number you take from here, the binomial should look same. X minus 2 and x minus 2. Now you think of the number to be written here. What number into x is negative x? We know that 1 into x is x. But what sign into positive is negative? It should be negative. Negative 1 into x, negative 1x. Negative 1 into negative 2, positive 2. Yes, solution is absolutely right. So we write x minus 2, x minus 2. Factorization again. X minus 2 is common in both sides. So we write x minus 2. And the term outside it is x. And the term outside it is negative 1. With them we form another binomial. X minus 2 into x minus 1 is equal to 0. It's the quadratic, are the binomials we got after factorization. Let us now find the value of x from these two binomials. We know either x minus 2 is equal to 0. X minus 2 is equal to 0. Or x minus 1 is equal to 0. So this is what we have got. So either x is equal to negative 2 comes here, positive 2, or x is equal to negative 1 goes over there, positive 1. Therefore, the values of x, 2 and 1. Well, these are the values of x, 2 and 1. We did this question very simply. The question looked rather confusing in the beginning, but as the solution went on, you understood how easy it is. So, though the question looks very weird or very tough, you shouldn't be confused. Go on with your solution. Hope you have understood. And in the coming videos, we will study new questions. And till we meet next time, take care. Bye.